Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Joey G, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make this absolute monstrosity of a creation that's behind me. And if you're asking what it is, this is a super smelter. Now I know this isn't the type of normal videos that I make on this channel. I usually do animations, but you know, I kind of wanted to try some live Minecraft tutorial videos or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and try to do that. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So we're gonna start out. Let's get our furnace and let's get some blue wool over here. This is gonna be the start of our first circuit. We're gonna do about 3 blocks up for start of the first one. So technically 4 blocks off the ground if your ground is flat. And what we're gonna do, destroy all that, and we'll do about, I find, 21 blocks out. No, why 21? Just because. So that's 4. Alright, so that's now 21 blocks out. So what you're going to do now is you're going to want to grab some hoppers and start laying them one row on the top here by holding shift. Now you're going to do the same thing, but on the side. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find the middle of this long row of hoppers. And let's see where that is about. I'm going to say about right here. And put a hopper going down. Like that. So that's about the middle of the row of hoppers. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to have a line of hoppers leading into that one hopper by left clicking on the hopper. Now that you have your first row of hoppers and furnace is done, you're going to go to the top here and you're going to grab your powered rails and your blocks of redstone and you're going to lay them down on the top like this, also by holding shift and left clicking on the hopper. Now what you're going to want to do is all the way over here, we're going to want to have another row of hoppers. So we're going to grab our yellow wool right here and left click on the first 2 hoppers like that, and then do about 1, 2 out. I like to do 1, 2, make a little U shape like that, and then for the outside one we'll do the same thing. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab your other rails, regular rails, put your powered rail, then your regular rail, then your powered, and do the same thing for here. So like that. Now that this is done, you're going to practically do the same thing with all the rows of furnace. About duplicate it 3 times. Since that's going to take up a lot of space, I'm just going to do a time lapse starting now. Alright, so now that that's done, what you're going to do is you're going to get your block of redstone, and you're going to place it about right here. And then right as it goes out, the reason we're using blocks of redstone is because so that way one, the minecart could go underneath in this little space, and so that way we don't lock the hoppers by applying a redstone current to them. So we're gonna do that one right there. Alright, now we have our blocks of redstone in place. We're going to go ahead and build this circuit that's going to connect the two ends together. So over here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to, right here at this hopper right there, build 2 blocks out. You can destroy the bomb block. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up on each side. You can do the same thing on this side. Like so. And now we're going to connect the 2 pieces together. So I do 1, 2, 3 out. 1, 2, 3, 4 out because this has to wrap around. Now you can condense this more, but I would suggest you giving yourself a bit of space because the water tubes are going to have to be able to fit in under here. So we're going to have to fit in some redstone circuitry in this place, this space that you're making over here. Alright, so now we want to find the approximate middle, which is about right here, and we're going to make a dip. So we're going to have the dip go from here, in which the circuit will go down 1, and it will last to about here. There we go. We have our dip now. And now we're going to apply our powered rail and our regular rail. Over here we're going to want to do powered rail all the way up. And what I do is I do powered rail, and then I go back and do regular rail where I need to be. So I just do a power rail all the way through here. There we go. Alright, so up here is kind of be where the player stands. This is where he's going to input his items into the hoppers with chest on them. So what we're going to do is about 2 blocks. We're going to destroy 1 and put regular rail here. Reason being is so that way when we light up this, like here and here, we don't accidentally light up this part because this is where the line cart will be stopping. We also need to do regular rail over here all for the same reasons. Now we're going to go over here and put the blocks of redstone in. Over here now, we need to make a circuit in which by default the power rail is turned off, but then when we press a button or flick a lever, we want the power rail to turn on. So I'm going to use green roll for the circuit. We're going to need redstone torches and some redstone dust. We're going to go underneath here. If you look under here, this is the block that you need to light up. So this is the block that you need to have a redstone power go into. So what you're going to go, so you're going to get your wool of color choice and just do a simple redstone line up to that block, or we can do like that. So now that block is activated, now we're going to put a redstone torch there and have some redstone dust that leads into that thing. It turns that torch off by default now, and so now it's off by default until, so we're going to grab ourselves a button, and then we're going to go down here, place the button here, so that way now when we press this button, it's on for the amount of time, about a couple ticks that the button's pressed. So now that's working. Good. So now we need to have a way for, once the items are smelted, for them to get to the player. So this is where we're going to use our water tubes. So we're going to grab a dropper, glass, water bucket, blue ice, we're going to need soul sand, we're going to need some gravel, you really only need one block. We're also going to need our redstone repeater and and comparator. Oh, and our furnace. Not furnace, our hopper. So what we're going to do is we're going to find it about the middle, which is about this block here. Place it right here, and we'll have a hopper strand going into that dispenser. Now we'll have blue ice running about to not the very, okay, we need to do a bit of thinking here because we can't have water running onto this, and we also can't have running onto this, so we need it right here. So we'll have it run all the way up to this block here. We could destroy that. Now we'll put blue ice all the way down. And then we'll put gravel on the end. I'll explain why in a sec. We're going to place our tubes of glass for the walls of one side of the glass tube, walls for the other side of the glass tube. Now you don't have to use glass, you can use any other material. I just think glass looks nice and it kind of helps other people see what's actually going on. Once you're done placing your glass, you're going to go ahead and grab your water bucket, find out where it ends, so that block, grab a sign and place a sign down. You don't have to put any text on it, but you know what, why not? Text on the sign doesn't do anything, by the way. Now we're going to have our second water stream, and we'll have another sign right at the end. Now we can go ahead and build our glass ending for this one. So now we need to build a simple redstone circuit. So we need a sense when there's items in the dispenser, we want the dispenser to be activated. And the easy way to do this is by doing a clock circuit. And instead of having the clock circuit continuously running, we have this little circuit here, which allows us to have a clock circuit only running when there are items in the dropper, so that way you don't lag your world. Build this simple little clock circuit, and then string it into your dropper. If we go ahead and test it, you know, we could chuck some hoppers in there. It only dispenses the hoppers when there are items in the dropper. The water tube brings them all the way to here, where we'll have a block of soul sand right here. Go ahead, grab all of our hoppers back. The ice helps them get that not get stuck in between this gap. So we grab all of our hoppers. And if we go back, the redstone circuit isn't going anymore because there are no items in the dropper. So now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and seal up the top of the tube. And we can start on the water stream up. Water stream up is going to be very easy. All we're going to have to do is build the tube horizontally. Until we hit the top here. We want to do one block below the top here, so be about right here. That's good. So now we're going to do a water bucket. So now the current state of the water is, if we look at the water in F3 mode, we'll see that the flowing water falling is equal to true, and green text over there. What we need to make this all is source blocks, or else when we put soul sand under here, it won't work. So we're gonna get out F3 mode, and I'll show you how that's done. So what we're gonna do is, the reason we have gravel under there is so that, let's get our signs again, so water doesn't flow all over us. Place a sign there just temporarily. So we're gonna grab kelp. You might have noticed this in my inventory, you might know what I'm about to do. Place the kelp here and bone meal it until it gets to the top. So now, if we look at the sources of water using F3, we can see that falling is equal to false, which means this is a source block now. We can go out of F3 mode for now and place back our glass. Let's get the sandstone back. So now, if we go ahead and place back our soul sand, place back that glass, we'll see bubbles start to form. Now we have our water elevator. If we try to go in, we won't swim down by default. So now that our water elevator is done, we can go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go into time lapse again and build the same thing, and I'll be back. Alright, so now that that's built, what we need to now build is the connectors between the two water flows so they can go into a same centralized chest. This is also quite easy. We're going to use blue ice again. The reason why we've been using blue ice is because it helps items move along faster and not get stuck in between places where we cannot physically put air. What we're going to do is we're going to build a little blue ice bridge between the two, and we're going to give the rough middle, so right here, and we're going to build a tube connecting so that way none of our water flows onto our redstone, like such. Alright, now that we're done with this, we're going to connect the water sources right here. It's going to flow in, but that's fine. We're also going to put signs right before the hole, right here. Once we hop down, we can put the chest right under. We have to have at least 2 blocks underneath this redstone, so that way whenever this line's activated, it doesn't lock that hopper and not allow items to pass through. So once we find our location of our chest, we're going to put our chest down here. Now we're going to string a red hopper line to our chest, like that. And now seal up the water tube. Our water tubes are now complete. So now if we go ahead and test this again, we can just, you know, throw the whole 64 stack of hoppers. You see them flow up, flow down, and then now they should be making our way to our chest. And so now our super smelter is almost complete. We only have one more thing to do, and that is our super smelter can only, let's see, 21 times 4, about 84. So it can only smelt about 84 items at a time, right? So what we need to do is we need to have it so that way once it's done with 84 items, say there's still more stuff in the the chest minecarts. Well, we need to make sure that it keeps going until the chest minecarts are empty. Well, you could build a sensor to sense and see if, like, how many items are left in the chest minecarts. Or you could think logically and say, well, wait a sec, if there are items in the dropper, then that means there are items in the minecarts. And when there are no items in the dropper, then that means there are no items in the minecart. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a simple circuit, and we're going to have the circuit sense if there's items in the dropper. Now we're going to amplify the signal with redstone repeaters. And let's get magenta wool for the wool type. And build a strand. This strand is going to lead all the way. We gotta make sure we don't power any of these hoppers but accidentally. All the way right up to the base of that button, so we could just build down here. So now we need to run redstone using redstone dust, a redstone line all the way down here, and we need to destroy every other block until we get to the top, and use some redstone torches. We have to have this block powered off by default, or else and when it's powered on, for example, say it's powered on, then it'll power that block, which will power these rails, and we can't have that powered by default, so we gotta have it, make sure it's powered off. Now we'll run a test to make sure we don't need any repeaters by placing a torch. You need a repeater about right here, and for good measure right here. Now we'll destroy that torch, put the redstone dust back, and so now we have a complete super smelter. Build a platform real quick, make it all look nice. And some finishing touches. For example, I like to put a empty minecart. Do this trick. Put a minecart here. Then go underneath. Go to an iron bar. Now break the block. And so now we have a quick and easy way to get to that platform. Now just build some iron bar legs or whatever you want to call it. Some support structures with the iron bars. And now, last but not least, we're going to add our chest with minecart with chest. And now our super smelter is complete. Let's grab some items to smelt. So gold ore. We'll grab about 2 stacks. And we'll have about 2 stacks of coal to smelt it. For this super smelter, you have to have the same amount of item to be smelted with the same amount of fuel. Fuel goes in the bottom. The item to be smelted will go in the top. And then all you have to do is press the button, and off they go. Lighting up all of the furnaces as they go along. Almost as soon as they get back, you can see that they keep going because our sensor is now working. Then they will keep going until all of the gold has been deposited in our chest. You can see this circuit in action. And once all the gold, so we're about 1 stack in, is done, about half stack more, we'll see that our sensor is now not working anymore because it senses that all the items have been dispensed. Our minecarts stop, and there we go, 2 stacks is 64 gold ore. So I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing if you like this content. Also check out my other videos. I have many other videos. This is my first time, one of my first times, doing live commentating while I make a video. But again, thanks for watching. If this works, please make sure to leave a comment. If it doesn't work, also please make sure to leave a comment and I'll try to help you work out any bugs. Again, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Make sure to subscribe. Goodbye. Hi guys, Joey here. I know I don't normally do this type of last minute announcement thing, but today I have to. I just launched a Discord server. There's going to be a link to the invite in the description. If you like what I do here or you're a small YouTuber like myself, please consider joining. This server is for small YouTubers that are under 1,000 subscribers and their respective communities. So drop in and say hi. I'll see you there.